You
on your ass for a living. Get up.
So, Dragon. Yeah. Standing in the corner.
He's just standing there, menacingly.
This is the 1000th chapter anniversary of the introduction of Monkey D. Dragon. This is a milestone chapter in One Piece. I'm surprised that we did not get out of the flashback. But at the same time, to call this when I said, no, I don't think I'm gonna be getting any Dragon in the next chapter. Well, I was wrong. We did get Dragon. But what was Dragon doing?
Menacingly!
Man, the problem with Dragon is that I know in the future, and maybe I need to do a whole video on Dragon. Maybe I have to. Just play some defense for Dragon. It's gonna be phenomenal in the future what he does. I'm confident in that. But the question is, will what he does in the future raise his stocks high enough to exceed where they've fallen from? I'm not too sure. I'm honest to God not too sure, because his stocks, like a crypto, may have just dipped so hard. 95% in the red in the eyes of the people. Twitter just grills this dude constantly. Actually, I would say Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, flamed. And in this chapter, Dragon once again in the corner, not really doing much. In fact, people have way more focus on a guy we haven't even seen. We haven't even seen yet. So let's get into this chapter. If you don't know, now you know. Obviously, you can find my reaction where? On YouTube, the Cole Requiem channel for the full chapter reaction and the entire stream with the post discussion where on the twitch.tv channel. All links in the description box down below. So first and foremost, the chapter pace I thought was actually pretty good. Better than last chapter, but still a lot of parts. I kind of like 5 or 6 parts. Seems to be around the average Oda, still in flashback, but it was cut up mainly to the sections where we're talking to Saint J. Garcia Saturn, then that post stuff where we're going through Kuma and Bonnie's treatment, and we have Kizaru. Then after the Sorbet Kingdom, we have Kuma go on his own journey essentially, and the world finds out about a new warlord of the sea, Bartholomew Kuma, and his frozen bounty of 296 million berries. And for character, we do have a few things going on here. First and foremost, Ace! Ace has been getting a lot of sauce despite his passing away in the post-time skip. Obviously, we've seen before with him raiding Wano country and him fighting against Yamato way back when. Given this timeline where we see Ace in this chapter, it should be 1 or 2 years from the beginning of the story in the pre-time skip, which means that at this point in time, people like Ace and Cavendish are well-known names. Cavendish was a supernova of that generation before Luffy was. Because I remember that he got mad at Luffy on Dressrosa because his name was being overshadowed tremendously so by the next generation of supernova. But Ace apparently beat a warlord off screen at some point. A warlord that we haven't seen yet. And at first I thought it had ties to Film Z. Because in Film Z, the story goes that Zephyr Sensei lost his arm to a pirate decades ago in the past. And during the time skip, that same pirate, who also has a fruit power, was offered the position of warlord. But right now, based on the timeline, it seems like the person Ace beat is not the person mentioned in Film Z. It's a whole new warlord we haven't seen yet. And because Ace beat him, the idea is that he's the guy that is marked by flames. That's what I saw time and time again. It's the guy marked by flames. It's him. He is the one. He is the Saint of Legend we haven't seen yet. And he is going to come at some point in the future and have ties to Ace. So it's not Saul, let's say because of Freezer Burn. It's not Scopper Gabon. It's a former warlord that was defeated by Ace. Not the highest expectation since you lost to Ace, my guy. You lost to Ace before the pre-time skip. No offense, but but at the same time, that is Ace gas. But not really someone that would be a true future opponent for, let's say, Luffy, because Luffy by then would be a guy like, what, in the 4 point some odd billions berry, and Ace was maxed out at 550. But at the same time, this is an interesting possibility. And I did have a hard time discerning if this Shichibukai, if this warlord was Jinbei or not. Because Jinbei and Ace did fight against each other 2 years before the start of the story. I suppose this may have happened around the same time. So a year after the story starts, he fought against another warlord and then beat that guy too. Also, there's a new character we have now in the story called Alpha, but it could be read as Alifa, which is a similar name to Khalifa. She looks just like Khalifa, the girl that was formerly Iceberg's secretary in Water 7, and of course later on the assassin of Cypher Pole 9. So she could be related to her in some way, shape, or form. Since she can crush a stone pebble between her fingers, it's safe to assume that she has learned, maybe even mastered, some degree of finger pistol, one of the martial arts techniques that makes up the 6 powers martial arts skills that Marines and Cypher Pole agents know. So she is a dangerous woman. If Kuma comes back or misses around, one, she gun, and she would kill Bonnie. And Kuma's character shines the most in this chapter, by far and away. Kuma is, like, this guy's amazing, bro. Now we have to really contemplate, hey, yo, is his flashback A, the best flashback in the entirety of One Piece? And B, is Bartholomew Kuma one of the best written characters in One Piece? What Oda has done in this flashback is that he has given us a man's life, his whole life's journey in one fell swoop. Doflamingo, you can say, had the same thing going on, but it was done in like 2 or 3 flashbacks throughout the entirety of Dressrosa. He had these tie-ins. But Kuma, we're just getting his whole life just bare. And yo, damn, my God. We're talking about levels of like Shakespearean tragedy here when it comes to Bartholomew Kuma. Like, Kuma's whole backstory could be an opera play. You have some guy going hard, and then people are just crying in the crowds like, oh, because it's just that moving, bro. If you go to this play, you need a handkerchief, all right? Kuma's backstory is nuts. The 3 conditions. I'm just happy that Bonnie can be cured. I'm grateful. Even Kizaru. I am afraid when the anime gets to this moment, people are gonna watch this and do reactions to it, are gonna be just crying non-stop. In Japan, when this episode drops, there's gonna be a spike in tissue box sales because Kuma's real. Santa Claus is checking his list like, yo, nothing but good. Give him the best. Give him the best. Yahweh is like, yo, I like this guy. I like him a lot, bro. I like him, but this guy he's Archangel worthy. Get him up. Get him up. Get him up. Nah, saying shut the. He's mine. Devil user, I don't care. Devil or not, he's mine. He's gonna be sitting next to Michael and Gabriel. It's gonna be Michael, Kuma, Gabriel on Yahweh, bro. It's so good. Oh my God, Kuma. The only person that didn't bat an eye was Jay. Of course. Because unlike Kuma, who's going to one of the highest seats in heaven, Jay's going down. Jay's going straight down. A one-way ticket to the frozen hell in Dante Infernos. That's where he's going. And it's amazing how some people, shout out to JD Legend, some people were they were on that train. Come on, ride the train. Hey, ride a choo-choo. Come on, ride the train. Hey, ride a choo-choo. Come on, ride the train. Hey, ride a choo. Stop, bro. This is a soul train, not the awesome grooves and dance moves your parents jammed out to long ago. No, this train will take your soul straight to the frozen hell right next to Satan's butt cheeks. I really want to see Jay get forced into oblivion, especially if Jay is actually Bonnie's father. We do get more information about Kizaru too, where Kizaru at this point in time, a few years ago from present, was a admiral, not a vice admiral like we see in the Fisher Tiger flashback. Even though he has the same fit when he beat Arlong, and he was vice admiral back then, now he's an admiral a few years later, I think, from then. We call Kizaru an admiral. Dun, 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 dun. Are you jamming out to Nika music, sir? I thought it was uncultured. I thought it was for pirate thugs, sir. What you doing? Whoa, what you? All right, maybe a little bit too racially coded there. It's pretty funny when you imagine Kizaru doing that pose under the moonlight instead of Luffy. There's no way Jay or any of the Gorosei or Imu are gonna kill one of the most powerful military assets that they have, an admiral, because he's doing a twerk. No. And he absolutely was not sandbagging in the fight against Luffy because he twerked it up for Nika. That is max copium. So much cope you can't even drive. It's illegal. Because if you do, you get a DUC, driving under cope. And then for the last part of this chapter review, real quick, story progression. Finding out the details that him becoming a weapon for the Navy also included him being a warlord of the sea, and also tied in to the reason why he lost his individuality in the first place. I thought were very good for the story progression because it gives us a much clearer understanding as to how we got to where we were in the pre-time skip with Kuma and the Pacifista. Particularly Jay's involvement in this too, where Jay is in lockstep with this whole procedure, and now you have to think about it retroactively. How many moments in the past we've seen in the story, or let's say in the distant past, have the Gorosei also influenced as well, but we are right now not privy to those details. We also get to see how Vegapunk is, I guess for his character, he's struggling to keep up with his own immense intellect. The mind has far surpassed the capabilities of the body. He's writing so much, he's doing so much, the paper is literally on fire. He becomes the meme where he has all these ideas that he wants to create, Eureka, but at the same time, he needs to do his bodily functions, but he wishes that someone could do it for him. At the same time, he wants to actually build and create. So there's so many things he wants to do, but he can't do it because he's only one person. That's why he made 6 of himself. Dude, Kuma's flag being the same image that Bonnie drew for him, I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you, bro. Yahweh, if he does die in this arc, he has a comfortable spot in heaven. Make no mistake. We also get to see a cargo ship by Umid. Umid is actually one of the guys that we see in Whole Cake Island, one of the underground brokers there that pull up with the Feld and Stussy. And for all this time, we actually do get to see, slowly but surely, the building up of current Egghead Island. We also get to see the other warlords' reactions to the news that Kuma has become a warlord. And Doflamingo is hyped because he knows what's coming. He knows the meme is coming when he's walking all bow-legged and Kuma's coming behind him and he glitches in. Mihawk just kills somebody. I mean, it's pretty apparent. There's an explosion behind him and he's all depressed. So Mihawk is looking for something in his life to stimulate him. Of course, thank God, in a few years, Zoro. Oh, thank God, Mihawk. Yabo Hancock. You have even Gecko Moria kind of flexing with Perona. Dragon. But Kuma does mention that he is writing a lot of letters to Bonnie, which he promised he would. At this point in time, by far one of the best dads, if not the best dad in One Piece. But then he mentions, when he puts the letter inside the bird's mouth, he mentions how he's been trying to find these travel destinations for Bonnie and himself when she turns 10. Very likely, a lot of the destinations that the Strats went to after Shibondi were places that Kuma visited at some point during his journey, even the ones that we didn't see in the previous chapter, including Amazon Lily. And when he first met Perona and he asked her, if you want to go on vacation, where would you want to go? That line harkens back to how well-traveled the man is. At some point, he wound up at Fuchsia Village. We see Luffy running from a tiger and Kuma is pulling up to Fuchsia Village. I think it's a year before Luffy starts off his journey. Here is the most effed up reason. He wants to be the father to Luffy that Dragon never was.
Do something!
Obviously, there's a good chance he does not know about Luffy's existence, since remember, Ivankov and Dragon had a short convo about that, where Ivankov always noticed that Dragon is looking east. Like on some Domo Kashu, look master, the east is burning red. And Dragon didn't tell Ivankov about Luffy. So there's a good chance that Kuma has no idea about Luffy. There's a good chance. He may know, but probably not. And if that's the case, that means 2 things. Number 1, he doesn't know about the Gomu Gomu no Mi being actually, in reality, the Hito Hito no Mi Maro Nika. He does not know that Luffy is also Sedafu user of the Gomu Gomu fruits, which makes the most sense since we saw in Wano Country when Zunisha pulled up, not even the Gorosei were too sure about the Gomu Gomu fruit being the awakening Nika ability. That's the first thing. The second thing is that since Luffy, assumingly, Luffy is not involved in the reason why Kuma's coming to Fuchsia Village, it probably involves what happened with the Great Terminal. Remember, King Bokori enacted this flame-on cleansing throughout the entirety of the southern half of the Sorbet Kingdom to eradicate those who couldn't actually pay the taxes and the bills. He got that idea from where? He got it from the Goa Kingdom. Fuchsia Village is where? In the Goa Kingdom. The Celestial Dragons, they pulled up and they commended the beauty of the Goa Kingdom because they burned the entire Great Terminal to the ground. In chapter 587, we do see Kuma among the other revolutionaries when the Goa King was first being raised down to the ground with the fire. So Kuma could be here because it involves some sort of status update on other folks that were, let's say, left behind and burned by the incident at the Great Terminal. He has been here before, but why is he coming back? That's the question. Unlikely Luffy, unlikely Nika, but let's wait and see. So overall, this chapter I thought was a great chapter. I'm gonna give it 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10 in my book. Man, it's heavy, bro. It really is heavy. I know that some folks are complaining about the flashback being too long, but wasn't Kaido's too short? Wasn't Oden's actually a long as hell flashback? This is like 6 chapters, so it's not egregious, I think, so far. But that being said, I've been enjoying it through and through. It's been fantastic. It's been crazy, bro. But let me know your stance on this chapter, One Piece. Once again, my book at 8 out of 10, and the artwork so far seems to be on point. Folks were worried about his surgery and how his eyes were, but he seems to be fine now. He seems to be like on point. So if you enjoy my content, make sure to rate the video with a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and click on that bell to join the notification squad. I'm gonna catch you cats on the flip side.
See you. Bye bye.